Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy J Rock. Today I'm gonna be hitting you with another X-Men review. We're gonna be reviewing Marauders Volume 2. This covers issues 7 through 12. Man, I couldn't wait to read this because Volume 1 ended on a killer cliffhanger. It was fire. All 6 issues were solid. I was highly enjoying it. I was digging everything about it. So let's get to talking a little bit about Volume 2 here. I'll kind of read back what happened to you, and then we'll get to the final thoughts and so forth. So the issue starts off with Emma Frost, aka the White Queen. She's bringing her old outfit out of retirement. This is what she used to rock back in the 80s. Some white panties and a white bra. Oh wait a minute, no she isn't. This is just her undergarment. She's changing, right? Man, how far we've come along. This back in the days was actually her costume, was way like overboard. So now, rightfully so, it's just her undergarment. She's changing and whatnot, trying on clothes, and bam, Callisto shows up. Callisto is she used to be the leader of the Morlocks. They were this group of mutants that were deformed, living in the tunnels, sewers, and so forth. Kind of like your mutants that were homeless. So it's kind of interesting to see her here, and White Queen is talking to her, letting her know she's interested in having her as her ambassador, kind of someone to back her up in this council, because Krakoa is now an island where all mutants live, and they're starting their own government and laws and so forth. So we cut to the next panel, and we got Iceman showing up to right there to where Emma Frost is at. He shows up and he's making out with Emma Frost's brother. So I guess they're like an item. So while this is going on, Callisto's talking to Bishop, and Bishop saying we gotta go to Madripoor. Some shit just went down. Did the Red Queen not tell you about it? The Red Queen being Emma Frost. She was formerly known as the White Queen, but now I guess the names of the positions they play and whatnot have changed. So they gotta go back down to Madripoor. And while this is happening, we cut back to the Verendi and the Junior Hellfire Club. This Hellfire Club is like a bunch of teenagers trying to restart the Hellfire Club group. And on the last volume, they were they had sent this guy named Yellowjacket. He's like an Ant-Man villain. He could shrink in size. He went inside the body of one of the Marauders, being Pyro. So while he's in his body, he's everything Pyro hears, he hears. So they're getting all this information about Krakoa and the mutants and so forth. And they want to sell this information to other countries, right? That are not down with the mutants or Krakoa, and mainly the communist countries. So they're trying to sell this to Russia. Like, are you interested in this information? Because Russia ain't down with that shit because they're a communist country, and these marauders are helping their people escape from Russia, and they don't want them leaving, right? Just like China don't want the people from China leaving, and these guys are helping people escape. So clearly they wanna put some type of stop to this. So this information could help them do that. So it might be they might be interested in buying it. Now we get back to Bishop. He's on his way to Madripoor, so he has to hit one of these portals. But before he hits the portal, he throws some grenades through the portal first. After they blow up, he runs through the portal blasting. So he came out like a badass right here. He's just putting mad working on people. That was a very smart move. Blow up the spot first and then come in. I give him props for that. So that was real creative, and they did a good job the way they drew Bishop here. He looks like a badass. He doesn't have the Jerry curl like he did in the 90s when he was looking wicked, but he still has kind of like some braids going. He has some long hair. I'm digging this look, and I like the way this artist draws him. He did the action scenes justice, made him look good. One thing, the one Bishop look I was never a fan of was when he was bald. I felt it had no style to it, and it was too much like Luke Cage. So I always like him with some type of hair. So he has the braids here, and he's saying, Kitty Pryde, before she went down, she made me the Red Bishop. So I gotta go handle this shit for her, right? Because she put me in this spot. And oh yeah, right here in the last volume, Kitty Pryde died on the last panel. She got killed by Sebastian Shaw. So she's dead right now, but they're in this island, Krakoa. They grow these plants that revive all mutants. It seems Kitty Pryde has been the only mutant that they're not sure it will revive her. They think it won't. It won't. And she also can't go through portals. Something to do with her powers because she phases, right? So at this point, Bishop thinks she's dead for real. She's not coming back. All other mutants always get revived. So So death is not even an issue for mutants anymore, except for Kitty Pryde. Okay, so while Bishop is doing all this stuff, there's this place in Madripoor where there's this parent and his daughter. They're fishing for food, right? For fishes and whatnot. And they find Lockheed. They bring him in, and Lockheed is Kate Pryde's dragon. Kate Pryde, Kitty Pryde, it's the same person, but some of the like Bishop, I think he still calls her Kitty Pryde. So when they find the dragon, they're like, "How weird is it alive?" And the girl wants to. The guy's like throw him back in the ocean. The girl's like, "No, we gotta save this animal." So they bring him back to shore with them. Then we cut back to Krakoa. In Krakoa, we got Callisto talking to a former Morlock. He's been punished for something he did, so he's not allowed to leave the island even if he wanted to. And they can't kill people here because what's the point? Mutants just get revived anyways, right? They live forever now. So he's just playing golf, saying it's so boring here in Krakoa. All I do all day is play golf, and I hate golf, but it's still better than anything else you could do out here. So while they're talking, he starts telling Callisto, aren't you even at least offended by this new group they formed called the Marauders? Because if you remember, the Marauders killed all you Morlocks back in the days, a bunch of you guys. And Callisto was the leader of that group. And Callisto's like, she just named it the first thing she could think of. Like, I don't take it personal. I don't think too much of it. And that was a question I was asking myself, like, why did they name them the Marauders? And we got an explanation here. At least it was acknowledged. But the explanation was kind of weak. I was just like, oh, well, whatever, right? Like, I guess she liked the name, or that's the only thing she could think of. So we cut to the next day. We got the Red Queen, Emma Frost. We got Sebastian Shaw, Apocalypse. You know, all the big dogs are right there at the council sitting down. And Kitty Pryde don't show up. So they're like, what the fuck? Like, where's Kitty Pryde? Like, this is like the president being late to a speech. Like, how dare she, right? And Emma Frost don't want to let on that Catherine is missing. So she says she's doing important business in another country right now. You know, she can't use the portals and whatnot, right? She says she'll be here tomorrow. So everybody's like, hopefully she doesn't make a habit of this. And they kind of understand, you know, she can't use the portals like the rest of it, like everybody else, so she can't travel as quick. But really, Emma Frost don't want to let on that she's missing, and she's actually really worried, like, where can she be? And Sebastian Shaw is playing it like a cool cat, like, oh, well, she's just very, you know, unprofessional and whatnot, knowing damn well he's the one that freaking murdered her. I was like, look at this bastard, like, I love him as a villain. He's very interesting. When written properly, he's a great villain, and he's a real asshole. Like he's really you love hating him. You know, you get into him when he's in the stories. So then we get Emma Frost. She's gonna take all these mutant children like on a field trip kind of thing, right? Put them up on game, show them, you know, how Krakoa works, the economy and whatnot. You know, a regular field trip like we've all had before. So she goes to this portal so they could just appear in one of these locations. Then we cut to what Bishop and Iceman are doing. They made their way aboard this ship, looking for Catherine Pryde, obviously, right? Bishop spots her when he looks through one of the windows underwater. Her dead body is just floating in the ocean. I was like, holy smokes, like, it's a very eerie moment. I was just, the first thing I could think is like, I hope they get this fucking Sebastian Shaw. Hope they get this bastard. So they find her there. Bishop goes up to get the body, and he makes a phone call to a telekinetic call to Emma Frost. Lets her know, hey, we found the body, and it's a no-go. She's dead. So Emma Frost is receiving this call, and we get back to Bishop and Iceman. Okay, so while Bishop is recovering the body, Iceman is just pissed. You know, they took out one of his, so he got to take out a few of yours, right? It's like a game of tag, you know, you're it, then I gotta get you back and whatnot. So he's just letting a bunch of these soldiers have it. Bishop tells them, you know, reel it back, you know, bring it in a little. We can't just kill them. He goes, why the fuck not? Like, they killed one of ours. He's telling them how he doesn't got time to explain all that right now. Emma Frost shows up. She says, bring the body back. Right now, first things first, we need to concentrate on trying to see if we could revive her. We're taking her back to Krakoa. So what they wanted was the body, because they want to see if they could try to revive her, even though they've been told they can't. They're still gonna try it, right? And when Emma Frost talks to Storm, he's telling her, "Look, she's dead. This is the body, but we're gonna try to bring her back." Storm's like, oh, like she just gets pissed and she starts blaming it on Emma Frost. And I think in this situation, I think Emma Frost was in the right, not Storm. She tells her, well, because Emma Frost tells her, last I remember, I sent you to take care of her. It was your fucking job. You had one job, and when I sent her with you, she ended up dead. So you obviously didn't do what you were supposed to do. And Storm is so offended when she hears this. She just slaps the shit out of Emma. But there was the reason Storm got pissed is because there was some truth to them that she was the one that was sent to protect her, and she left and left her alone. The moment she left her alone, Sebastian Shaw showed up. So Catherine should have never been in that position to begin with. Storm should have been there with her the whole time. So should have Iceman. So after all these shenanigans, Emma Frost is back to business as usual. She has to make sure all the teams are running smooth, the X-Men teams and the country and whatnot, right? So they find out Yellowjacket has some type of homing device or something inside him that's how other people have been getting information, right? So they don't know what it is though. Then they find out it's Yellowjacket. Yellowjacket being that guy we're talking about earlier that he can shrink and he can grow big. So he's inside Pyro's system, but Emma Frost being able to do telekinesis and so forth, she's kind of brainwashing him and Pyro. She's brainwashing Pyro to think he's seeing other stuff that's not going on. He's standing awake, but he's like a zombie. He's really asleep. Like he's thinking he's at a party and whatnot. And they go, why this is going on? That's what Yellowjacket's seen. So then we could get him out of there. And Yellowjacket in his mind, this was crazy right here because we see him grow to normal size. So Pyro just blows up because he's inside of Pyro's body. I was like, holy crap! Like what the hell just happened? But it turns out that was just an illusion that Emma Frost was giving Pyro. So while Pyro's having all these illusions and whatnot, he's not seeing what's really happening around him. They're waiting for Magneto to show up. Since Yellowjacket is in a submarine, it's made out of metal. Magneto shows up, brings Yellowjacket out of Pyro's body. He brings Yellowjacket out of Pyro's body with his powers, and they let him get away because they want to follow him. So they follow him back to the Junior Hellfire Club. And it turns out they're now doing business with Chang Zhao. She was this racist Korean, I believe, over there in Madripoor. Doesn't like mutants. She's making business with these with this Junior Hellfire group. Also buying because they have all this valuable information that they're selling, right? So she's kind of working with them, but not just necessarily for the information. She's kind of trying to be part of their group. She's trying to join the circle. And bam, Emma Frost shows up. She's like, oh, I remember we used to do stuff like this back when we were the Hellfire Club. And she goes, but you guys are so amateurish. Like, we were so much better, right? And she's telling them, I'm going to let you guys live this one time. Just don't follow us around anymore and whatnot. She's breaking it down to them that she could easily follow them whenever she wants to because of all the powers she has. But she doesn't want to waste her time with them because they're nobodies. She has more important things to get back to. Right before Emma leaves, Pyro's right there with her. She gives them all this illusion that Pyro's melting everybody and burning them. So, she gives them enough to startle them a little, to let them know what kind of power she has. And they're all panicking, like, oh shit, we're all dying and whatnot. And that was a cool ending to that scene. They take off. We go back to the council again. Now, not only is Kate Pryde not in the seat, but neither is Emma Frost. So now it's like Kitty's second day in a row she's not there, and now Emma Frost is not there either. And the rest of the guys are getting impatient, like, wow, these two are very unprofessional. Like, again, like, this is starting to get ridiculous. Like, should we give these positions to somebody else that knows that's more responsible? So the council's having all these arguments. And after that, we get to Sebastian Shaw. He's at this place where they make whiskey. Because, we're starting a new government, so you're going to have places that make whiskey, clothes, like, you're starting a country, right? So you got to get an economy going. And when Sebastian Shaw's right there trying out the whiskey, he's like, wow, this is some good stuff. And some of these mutants have powers to fast forward time and whatnot, so they're aging the whiskey pretty fast in these barrels. In 3 hours they make it seem like it was 20 years. So that's why this whiskey's tasting a lot better. And while Sebastian Shaw's there, he's still playing it off like he don't know that Kitty Pryde's gone, knowing he's the one that did it. And the rest of the other mutants there are talking about, well, we got the body back, we're trying to revive her, but we seem to be failing. We'll try again tomorrow. We'll try again. And he's just acting shocked, like, oh my God, you mean she was dead? Oh, it's breaking my heart, right? So, so this was crazy. He's real despicable, Sebastian Shaw. And I was just like, okay, like, so they're not reviving Katie Pryde, but she's the leader of this book, basically of the Marauders. So she's coming back. Like pretty soon, she's not gonna be gone long. Okay, so now if you remember the last volume, the Russians had this technology where they wore this armor, and when they shoot the mutants, they'll lose their mutant powers for like a certain amount of time. So now they're working on making this technology into handguns, so they don't have to wear the big armor. And they're talking to Forge about all this, and he's thinking about it. He's like, you know what? I created technology like this. It has to be my designs because nobody else is as smart as me, right? And he says only one guy worked with me, but he had a really good memory. Like when I do when I would make creations, he'll memorize pretty quick how to do them himself. So he has to be the one responsible helping them. He goes, maybe he didn't seem like a bad guy, but people do strange things for money. Maybe he just did it for money. So they're like, it had to have been him. So now that we kind of have got to the bottom of who might be giving them the blueprints, they're like, let's go to these freaking Russians and see if we can find him. Maybe he's working with them. Maybe he's right there. So they send a team of Iceman, Emma Frost, and Callisto. So yeah, Emma Frost is there personally this time. She shows up with them, and also because she wants to be keeping an eye on Callisto. She just hired her to be her ambassador. So she wants to see if Callisto's down with him or not, right? She put some work in. So they show up, and Callisto's immediately being Callisto. She loves these type of situations. Shows up, they quickly take care of these Russians. They were in a ship, and Iceman's like this Omega level mutant. He just froze all the ocean around the ship, so the ship can no longer move, right? And that's when they raided the spot and put work in. Once they got rid of these guys, they saved this guy, the guy creating the weapons, and he told them himself. He goes, "Look, I was forced to do it against my will." They take this guy back to Krakoa to talk to Forge, and Forge is like, "Yeah, I trust this guy. He was kidnapped and whatnot, right?" But he tells them, "But you're gonna have to live in Krakoa now because you'll never be safe out there. Humans are gonna be after you all the time for your technology, right? Now that they know you know how to build this stuff, so you have to just live amongst mutants." And he's cool with that. He's like, you know what, I could deal with that. Seems safe here. So then we get back to at night when we're in this island. They're having like this wake for Kitty Pryde. So it looks like we really lost her. Like they're not gonna resurrect her. Then they tell him, you know what, let's try again just in case. So while they decide to try some more, Loki shows up. Kitty Pryde's dragon that was with her when all this happened. And Emma Frost is like, holy shit, it's Loki. She decides to read his mind so she can see everything, all the last things that happened. And she sees everything that went down. That Sebastian Shaw did this. And she's like this freaking asshole. So she's pissed. She punches the wall and whatnot. And she's just hoping they revive Kitty. And after 18 times of trying to resurrect her, Kitty Pryde finally comes back to life. And it turns out, because of her phasing mutant abilities, she was phasing through the plants and whatnot. So she wasn't letting them do their thing. Right? So that was kind of crazy. And it kind of made sense, like, all right, so her power somewhat contradicted what the plant does. So it took a minute. But now she's back alive. And this moment was so cool when she's back alive. This artist that came into the picture draws her like back in her Excalibur days when she was younger. He draws her looking a lot younger and with the wavy hair she had back then. I love the way this guy draws Kitty Pryde. Even the way she was acting in the first volume was very reminiscent of the old Excalibur days to me. So this art just, I was like, holy shit, I'm loving it. Okay, so we had all these mutants here. We thought we were gonna be mourning the loss of a life because we thought Kitty Pryde was gone. But now that she got resurrected, everybody's celebrating life. You know, she's back around. Everybody's happy. And there was a real cool moment here where you have Kitty Pryde and Rachel Summers shows up, and Nightcrawler's right there. So you got the old '80s crew back together, right? The old gang right there, hugging each other and whatnot. It's the old Excalibur team. Those three, they're part of the OG group. And then with this art making them look more youthful and whatnot, it was like a modern take on how they look back in the '80s. So I really like what this happened. It felt very nostalgic to me. I was like, oh, that's just an awesome scene. So they're drinking and they're happy. Kitty Pryde's back around and whatnot. And Sebastian Shaw shows up like faking the funk like a mother, like a mother. He's like, oh, we're so happy you were resurrected and you're back around. And he's like hugging her and giving her some champagne. And I was just like, oh, look at this guy. So once this whole party's over, the next day, Emma Frost gives the rundown to Kitty Pryde. Like, look, it was Sebastian Shaw. He did this, and tells her the whole story about how what his plans are. So Kitty Pryde goes to this tattoo parlor shop. She's pissed off, and she goes to this shop again to get tattoos on her knuckles again. And this time they say, "Kill Shaw." I was like, what the hell? Like, why would you get that tattooed on yourself? Now you're just letting them know you're out to kill them. Like you're just basically, sounding the alarm system. Like, be careful, cause I'm after you. I don't know. I don't know why she would do that. That was such a poor decision. But it was just, I guess, for shock value for people. Like, oh, that's so cool, so badass, But it makes no sense story wise to do that. It's better to keep your cards close to your chest. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's where the volume ends. So the moment she got that tattoo, it's one of those moments where you're gonna roll your eyes and be like, "Oh my god!" Right? So you're either gonna be put off by it and it's gonna ruin the book for you, or you're just gonna roll with it and be like, "Oh my, that's so dumb," but you're still gonna like it, right? Like me, that's kind of what my reaction was like, "Oh my god," but it didn't ruin my enjoyment of the book. I still had fun all the way through. Some of these things, that's one of the few things here and there that kind of don't make sense, but you just go with it. All in all, it's a solid read. I've been having a lot of fun reading this, and there's a lot of moments, and like almost every issue ends with some type of silliness like that. Man, I cannot wait for the next trade. That's gonna be, I guess, issues 13 to 20 or 21. She's gonna get crazy because it looks like other buildup has been for the showdown with Kitty Pryde and Sebastian Shaw. So we should get that in the next volume. She's gonna be off the chain, man. I can feel it already. So I can't wait till we get to that. For now, it's been fun, and hopefully you guys like this video. You hit that like button, and I'll check you guys out next time.